Hey boys, welcome to some Thursday night rugby league action. Myself versus the ODD1X again for week three of our little series here, and I'm going to be playing as the North Queensland Cowboys. ODD1X is playing as Melbourne Storm. You'll see a couple of player names censored. I actually don't know why. I think that's related to if you have like duplicates of the players, which is strange, but yeah, a little bit of unnecessary information, I guess. And the other bit of unnecessary information, this is probably this first match. We had to restart this match 3 times because of technical difficulties, I would say. The first game, the ODD1X did win. I think 6-0. It was a rubbish game to begin with, as Cameron Smith boots it out on the full, a big hook on that one. It was a bad game to begin with. That wasn't the reason it wasn't uploaded. It was just very laggy on my end. Mainly the second half was pretty, not unplayable, but it was pretty bad. So we just treated that a bit of a warm up, and then the next couple of times, just other difficulties. There was one where I accidentally set the game to be 30 minutes. It was going to be 30 minutes long. It would have taken like an hour to play, so had to restart that. And he was winning that game as well. So it wasn't a tactic, but let's get into the match here. Cowboys, it's a weird one. I feel like the Cowboys, again on paper, a very strong team. I think they've recruited well in terms of getting more X factor out wide. I mean, Val Holmes is a great recruit. Let's be honest. He could have been a winger, but I actually think he will. I think he'll become a great fullback. And I think people have been a little harsh on him early on. I think round 2 he looked pretty good, and even round 1 there were good signs there. I mean, he was first game back in a long time. Match fitness and a couple of areas lacking, but overall still looked dangerous. Still looked like he had all the talent, and they've got some more strike there, and then to go along with the power up the middle, obviously led by Jason Tamalolo. It's promising signs for the Cowboys, and then the Storm, as they always do, as Tamalolo, speaking of him, is out wide. I always thought, I know when Tamalolo first came into the grade, he was a back rower. Is Gavin Cooper, great line run there, one of the best line runners in the game. Whether or not it's Cooper's doing, or just the fact that Thurston was so good, but JT, the big JT, is going to steam over for the first try of the game. It just opened up there. It was Jake Granville out of dummy half, just throwing a couple of dummies, enticing the defenders, and then just get it to the big boy in Tamalolo. Jerome Hughes was left flat-footed, and you give JT that much room, that close to the try line, he's just not going to be stopped. He's not going to be stopped in the best of times, half of it, but with that much room to move, see you later. So great start to the game. We've had a couple of early chances, and on the back of that original kick out on the full by Cameron Smith, a huge momentum swing in our favor very early on. But yeah, obviously the Storm it almost hit the crossbar, but obviously the Storm, very professional, like always put a very good team on paper. It will be interesting to see, as once again, JT Tamalolo absolutely getting us on the front foot right there. But it will be interesting to see what happens when Cameron Smith does retire. I mean, they've always sort of had good plans in place, the Storm. And I mean, they've got an international at the ready in Brandon Smith. And Brandon Smith, he's honestly he has to be one of my favorite players. I mean, I just love watching him play. He's just an absolute, he's a ball of energy, like they always say. He puts his body on the line, and he's a great player. But the thing is that he's played a lot off the bench now, and he doesn't come on and play dummy half. Like, he comes on and plays like a lock roll. He just takes the line on, defends his defends as good as anyone and just runs hard. So it'll be interesting to see if he does actually take the dummy half spot, because then they've also got Harry Grant, who is tipped to be like the next absolute superstar in terms of dummy halves, and he's obviously gone and switched with Momorowski, so he's going to be playing at the Tigers when and if hopefully the NRL resumes this year, and then next year he'll be back at the Storm. So does he slot straight into dummy half and Brandon Smith stays on the bench? I mean, it'll be very interesting to see, because Brandon Smith is too good a player to stay on the bench. Like a team has to scoop him up for sure. Like, you know, I can imagine he'd want to stay at the Storm, you know, getting to play under Cameron Smith and learning the trade. But, you know, there comes a point when Smith retires, I think he would be expecting the role, but I don't know what happens with Harry Grant. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, they always seem to have successes in place for these type of roles. Is right here we try to throw a face ball there. Who was it? Justin O'Neill potentially, was it? No, Benny Hampton on the wing there. Almost got on the outside of Big Vunivalu, but the big Fijian wraps him up and just corrals him into touch. So that's a big play. It was a little bit back and forth for a moment there. Unfortunately, a forward pass from the scrum. It was a loopy ball back to Cameron Smith, and then unfortunately on the outside, I think it was Justin Olam overread the play just slightly, and forward pass. It was flat, but probably the right call at the end of the day there, as Val Holmes crabbing cross field, looking to link up, gets it to Cole Felt, but good defense from the Storm, just holding off, not making any rash decisions, as Ehsan Masters looks for a little hole up the middle there. So 20 odd minutes into the game here, there's a big shot, Sofa Solomona on Scotty Drinkwater. Absolutely got trucked right there. The poor playmaker, obviously playing against his former club, Drinkwater. He's been excellent since going to the Cowboys. I mean, he's another guy, Drinkwater. Like, he absolute star. And I mean, the Storm obviously can't keep everyone, but they would have loved to have kept him as the big shot again. But he gets the kick away, gets the bat down to Val Holmes, trying to put in a little grubber, but it comes off the legs of the Storm players. Always got to be wary of those second kicks, but the Storm defense able to, again, you know, they're a team that never really panics in those situations. They always seem to just, and it's the 1%ers for sure, they just have players in position. As great play there, Felice Kafusi back on the inside to Jerome Hughes. They cannot catch him. We had the angle on him, but Jerome Hughes is going to be able to streak away and score the Storm's opening try. That was beautiful work. A great ball to Felice Kafusi, who brushed off a would-be tackler, and then back on the inside, Jerome Hughes playing at halfback, but probably more noteworthy is a fullback, so he definitely has that pace of a fullback and able to race away and probably equal it up, as Cameron Smith does not make a mistake there. It was Felice Kafusi of old right there. He has he's one guy, Felice, that I don't think has gone. Yeah, his form hasn't been bad, but I feel like he has definitely the last couple of years he hasn't quite been as good as another one kick out on the full, this time by the Cowboys. So opening the door. It was ajar just before, but now it's creaked open a fair bit more now with that little bit of play. That's shocking, as Josh Maguire absolutely manhandles Pappenhausen, who, again, another one, he just come through the ranks. I don't know where he came from, Pappenhausen, but absolute freak of a player. He's got all the skills. He's quick as anyone, as tough as anyone, and, you know, what a player to bring in for Billy Slater. So yeah, they just always have these guys coming through. I don't know how they slip through the cracks, because I mean, he's not a Melbourne player, like he's New South Wales. So I don't know. I mean, I guess there's always going to be talented kids that don't make the grade straight away, whether, you know, big enough or, you know, there's just too much competition in the position. So there's always going to be those kids running about, and the Storm's recruiting just seems to be better than most clubs, really. They're just able to pick out the good ones and also keep the stars. As Granville, beautiful work there, steps the fullback looking for support, but no one was there. Unfortunately, we needed a Val Holmes scooping up the middle, but there was no one in sight. That could have been a huge moment in this game as Michael Morgan gets absolutely rocked right there. So we had a very good chance at the end there. Granville with a great scoot out of dummy half. And looking at the stats, very similar, honestly. Missed tackles, pretty similar. Line breaks, couple different. Possession, we did have a bit in favor of possession, but it was 7 of 8 for both teams. So yeah, very competitive game so far. Both teams looking strong in defense, but also the attack has looked slick at times. Has looked very slick. As the kick here from Val Holmes hits the crossbar. It hit the crossbar. Cameron Smith, he doesn't manage to drop it though. Unfortunately for us, I thought it might have caused a little bit of panic in the camp, but able to snaggle it off the crossbar there. It would have been. I always aim for the post and crossbar. It's just, why not? It's not that unrealistic that you would hit it. And I'm actually surprised teams don't do it more in real life. It is like a bit risky because you could kick it dead, but they always seem to kick it to the front rower. I feel like just kick it straight down the middle, aim for the post, If it ricochets, like you're just in with a chance. As last play here, it's going to be Cameron Munster putting in the punt. Not the best at kick, so it's going to go on the full to Kyle Feld, who makes good ground on the first tackle. So already in decent position and very, very similar to the first set. Although, Cameron Smith did kick it out in the full, but I felt like we had good possession or good early field territory or early on in that first half as Francis Molo gets driven back, and we are finding it. We do have our starting pack off at the minute, so we probably should expect a little bit less go forward. Although in real life, Big Frankie Molo is an absolute tearaway, and Asiata as well. But on the game, obviously without Tamalolo out here, it's gonna make life a little bit more tricky to get through the middle third. But likewise with the Storm, their bench is going to be on as Tui Kamakamitha. Another play name that's censored. Bit strange, but he's just standing flat-footed, unfortunately, for the Storm. Not really coming out with too much purpose here as Jerome Hughes tries to take a hit up there and gets absolutely rocked. Great shot by Cooper, and I think Drinkwater coming across is great play. Cameron Smith gets it on. Felice Kafusi backing up, but the ball goes to deck. Who is this going to come off? I don't know. It's going to be a Storm ball. Probably fair enough. They got the pass back, and it looked like it did ricochet off one of the Cowboys defenders. Is a big shot there, Hampton. He was isolated 2-on-1 with the big boys Olam and Vunivalu. It's two guys you don't really want to be coming at you. So he did a great job to get up out of the line and put pressure on Olam before he could get the quick hands away. But it gives the Storm a great chance. Not too much here, but the inside ball gets picked off. Corey Jensen off the bench. Just come up with a huge play, putting pressure on the playmaker and just able to get in the way of that pass. It looked like the gap was there, but just able to get in front of the players. Nice little turn of play there. Gavin Cooper's looked dangerous. He's been back to some of his best. It's a great ball. Jake Granville. He's also, I'd probably say Granville, Tamalolo have definitely been our best so far in this match. As we look to go left here. Drinkwater taken by Cameron Smith, getting quickly our dummy half to shut that play down before it could arise. As Michael Morgan puts up the bomb. It's decently placed, but we didn't have any chasers going through. It was only Frankie Molo who didn't have the leg speed to get down and put pressure on. So a 7 tackle set after that kick. A bit of a shocker, unfortunately. And looking at the flip side, I don't know if the Storm have had it's Tui Kamakamitha absolutely stampedes a couple, but probably Felice Kafusi's looked very good. A couple of their forwards, Solomona was very dangerous early, but yeah, no real standouts for either team, I would say. Probably Granville for both sides has looked most threatening. As Pappenhausen, one to always watch. Be very careful, but we've wrapped him up pretty well. And also, both fullbacks, Val Holmes and Pappenhausen, really haven't stamped their authority too much into this contest. So could look to one of them to break this game open. Still 6 apiece here as Val Holmes does take that one. Beats the one tackler, but taken down on the 20. So 80 meters to go. Still, you know, tick under 20 minutes left. We're going to be bringing our starting pack back on in a minute, which is hopefully can turn the momentum in our favor. But yeah, still plenty of time. Still plenty of time for both teams to potentially score a try, or, you know, if we get in position, taking an early shot at field goal might not be the worst decision, as we switch the play there. I don't know about that one. I saw a player offside, but we probably could just kept going down the middle with the big fellas, as try to put up the midfield bomb. It's not badly placed. Kyle Felt does get down, but Josh Adokar takes the grab, and with those midfield bombs, basically just trying to take the fullback and wingers out of the game, because on punt returns they're just so dangerous. I feel like get the ball in the air, you know, anything can happen. You do lose out on a little bit of ground with the kick, but you know, you can usually get a player there to contest, and at least you can get players there to wrap the very dangerous wingers and fullbacks up before they can get a little bit of head of speed up, which I personally think is a fairly valuable thing to do on this game. Unless you can get an early kick away, then it's fairly valuable, as Cameron Munster. I thought for a second he might have been going for a long ranger there, so I put pressure on as Benny Hampton makes a line break, looking for support. I didn't see it, but Granville was actually sneaking up on the inside. We could have potentially used him, but you know, probably taking the tackle there is a good thing. Is a nice ball there, but really good defense jamming in. I think it was Marion Seve putting the shot on, as Mitch Dunn breaks through. Papenhausen misses him as well. We're in perfect position here, 20 meters out. Michael Morgan is back behind the ruck. He's in a perfect spot. He goes for the field goal. It's just gonna sneak its way through. I think it was either Jesse Bromwich. I think it was Bromwich. He had his hands up looking for the charge down, but the effort just wasn't there from Big Bromwich. He had his hands up, but he just wasn't really scampering down to put the pressure on. So Morgan taking the early shot, not in terms of game sense, but in tackles. You know, I thought we're in a good position. We're on the front foot. Go for it here. Is spreading it off the kickoff. Getting a good chance. The offload to Justin O'Neill. Justin O'Neill pinned the ears back, son. He can't. He does not have the legs. I think it was Cameron Munster wrapped him up very, very quickly. But starting to turn on into the boosters. Val Holmes gets absolutely taken out there. Trying to put a big shot on. I mean, he had to go for it. Put the pressure on. Try to put a big hit. Cause a loose possession, but unfortunately could not get the job done. We do turn down the 2 points. I thought might as well waste the time. It's right here. It's called a knock on. I'm still flabbergasted because Val Holmes was through the gap, and I'm pretty sure he caught that before it hit the deck. I could be wrong, but I thought it looked good. I thought it looked good. Maybe they pinged us for a forward pass and they just set a knock on, which it was flat. It was a flat ball, but I don't think he actually dropped it. So we need the challenge call right there. But thankfully, it might not cost us too much. As right here, it is going to be Pappenhausen taken to ground. So a fairly thrilling game, honestly. Very tight finish. Went down to the wire. Storm Cowboys. You know, a couple of heavyweights of the comp. You know, massive respect for both clubs, and a good first up win for the Cowboys and InSaiyan. Our first win of the series. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. Make sure to like and comment. Stay tuned for Friday night footy on the ODD1X's channel, and I'll see you guys then.